All right, here we go. Okay, so today's notes are going to be more group work. I'm going to kind of get you guys kick-started, just so you know how to get started. But then, of course, I'm going to let you guys kind of take over. We'll see how far we get. The last class didn't get all the way done, but maybe we can get all done. I don't know. Let's see. We got till 2:35 today. All right. So we talked about reflections last time, right? Where you take a shape and reflect it over a surface or a line, and you get the same image, but might be turned a different direction. Like look over here, you see an ice cream cone. See how like the stem of the cherry is pointing to the right on the original, but then the image, it points to the left. Or see where the ice cream's starting to dip over the cone to the right, it starts to dip to the left. So that's one thing that we talked about last time. We're now going to talk about something called translations and rotations. Translation means you're moving left, right, up, down. Rotation, obviously, you turn clockwise or counterclockwise. Again, just give my voice a little bit of a break. Simeon, can you read the opening paragraph about notice?
For example, in the diagram at right, the original square ABCD on the left was translated to the image square on the right. The image location is different from the original, so different letters are used to label its vertices corners.
Good, thank you, Sabine. Yeah, so take a look at ABCD. ABCD is off to the left, and it slid or shifted to the right. Now, when you create the new image, we usually use these accent marks next to the letters. The way I say it, I call it A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. I don't know why it's called prime. That's just what mathematicians call it. So when you see the new image, so it's not confusing, we still use the letter A because it corresponds to this corner, but we give it an extra label. We put a little accent mark next to it, and usually we call it A prime. So that's just something that we do. And of course, B prime, C prime, D prime. So the notation tells you which vertices correspond, right? So the top left, top left, top right, lower right, lower right, lower left, lower left. Hope that makes sense. That's called a translation. Translation is when you shift. So let me actually define it for you guys so you guys can write down somewhere. You can write private top. So translation means to shift horizontally. So left or right. Or vertically. Up or down. That's all. That's what a translation means, is how you're shifting the graph. Okay, so now let's move on to 159. This might be a good opportunity to do a little group work. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys discuss this in your table groups. So go and discuss it. I'll come around and help you guys out. And then you're going to do a drawing in part B and answer some questions in C and D. And then we'll check in. Actually, there's a part E on the next page too. So I'll come around and help you guys out. But go ahead and read through it. Talk to each other, help each other out.
Oh. So then do it would be two away. Oh yeah, three. Okay, so let's start. There would be four. Yeah, one.
So for 59A and B, you're going to use that grid below. So you're going to want to flip for the first shift, or sorry, the first change. You want to flip over N and then flip over again. How's that? So you do two flips. So when you do the first one, label it as A prime, B prime, C prime. We use the second one, labels A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So you're going to draw two more triangles, but you want to flip it accordingly. And make sure you maintain the same distance. So kind of help you guys out a little bit. Hopefully you guys are getting this for B. Point B should look like this. Let's use red. Does that make sense? See how B prime is 3 away from the line of reflection? How long is CB, by the way, guys? So you go 8 away. Okay. Hold on, Peter. And then you should be able to figure out what to do with A. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were. We look at the first and third images. So what would that, what would that be like? Correct. Correct. Oh, yeah, question.
It's just moving this right.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Yes, it's the translation, correct. Good work. So A is how far away from the line? It's 9 away. Okay, do you guys get A prime like that? Okay, cool. Then you got flip again.
It's one more.
Oh, I might have miscounted. Did I miscount? You are correct. You're correct. Yeah, you're correct. Actually, no, I think I was right. Wait, hold on.
Up 3, right, it's up 3, left, hit from A.
No, you're correct. Yeah. Well, I'm just seeing a little off. Oh, I have C prime too close. That's why. So you have this luxury, I can move everything over like that. Well, anyhow, actually, I'm gonna undo it. Yeah, the next one should look like this. Okay, so it should be a translation. Hope you guys are getting that. That's what I've heard from some groups. Okay, go and finish up part D and E. Part D and E you could put in your own words. Part D, like what words you describe to what happens to the original to the image.
Shift. Yeah.
Yeah, so what are some ideas you guys have? Yeah, go ahead, Maggie.
Shifting vertically or horizontally?
Yeah, it does both actually. Yeah. So you can say for D, you can say shift up and right. Also say shift diagonally. You can say slide to the right and up. Like there's so many ways you could say it. So that's just kind of in your own words, just describe what's happening. So hopefully that makes sense for D. And then for E, the words transformation translation sound alike, but they can be confused. So we want to make sure we're proper with our terminology. So a translation is a type of transformation. So transformation is kind of like the overarching thing. Umbrella, yes, that's even better. Yes. So this is going to be at the top. It's like at the top of the food chain. Transformation, I can't write. And there's a bunch of different transformations we could do. So for example, we have reflection. That's one of them, right? We just did translation is another one. My arrows are starting to overlap. We're also going to do rotation. I think that's pretty obvious what that means. And there's one more that we won't talk about today, but it is important. So you'll know what. So you can move. You could flip. You could move things left, right, up, down. You could rotate. There's another change we could do too. You have an idea, Faith? Expand it.
No, like move it to like a different.
Well, but that's still translation though. If you're moving up or down, is that? I mean, I assume that's what you're talking about. But what if I stretched it
Like that.
or shrunk it? We call that dilation. For example, like you hear we're often like people's eye pupils, like your eye pupils are dilating. Basically, it's like they're expanding. So, yeah. So we do that as well. So those are so transformation is like the general term, and there's always specific ways we could transform. We can reflect, we can translate, we can rotate, we can dilate. So, okay. Let's now move on to 60. For 60, so draw. So what if the lines of reflection are not parallel? Okay. Is the result still a translation? We'll answer that question. So what we're going to do first is we're going to reflect about line B. And then we're going to reflect about line W. And is the final image of translation. That's what we're going to look at. So go ahead and flip, do the same thing again. You're going to draw a triangle over here and draw another one over here. So I'll give you guys a moment to do that. And then we're going to discuss afterwards. Because our lines of reflections were parallel before, right? On the previous page, we had two lines of reflection that both ran up and down. In this case, the first line of reflection runs up and down. The second one is slanted. So let's see what happens when I do that. So go and draw. Oh, we don't have the BC, that's EFG. So go and draw that and see what happens. So hopefully the first one kind of looks like this. F is what, 3 away? How long is GF again?
8.
Kind of like that, I'm guessing. Yeah. And E, yeah, same thing, up 3, left 2. So we have that. That's F prime right here, E prime right there, and G prime. And then we got to reflect about, it's kind of a weird, actually, my answer looks wrong. I don't like it. Anyhow, this is really tripping me out. Give me a sec here. So did you do G? Give me a sec. 2. So if I go 1, 2, 3. Do you guys put G prime over here? G del prime? Okay. No, hold on.
I think it's like,
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, you're right. There we go. And then this one would be
I agree. Yeah.
correct. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. And then this one, so you connect it. And then this would be yeah, I agree. Okay. Not totally precise, but generally we get the idea, right? So you can have this orientation. So now let's look at the answer for part B. Is the final image a translation of original image? No. Instead, what would you call that? So it's not a translation because you didn't just shift it over. And you didn't just reflect it to go from the first to the third because you had to reflect twice. So it's not a pure reflection. Instead, it's a what would you call that? You turned it. Rotation, yep. And we're not talking about dilation today. We're not resizing things. So yeah, it's a rotation. More specifically, I would say probably rotated 90 degrees. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing it probably rotated 90 degrees clockwise. That's what it looks like. Actually, I think I'm right in saying that. Because yeah, because the flat side GF, the horizontal side's here. Now it's like that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Oh, actually, I was right. But then we'll have someone read it. Peter, can you read part C?
Fine. It is rotated or turned to get near them. In part A, the center of rotation is at point P. The point of intersection of the lines of reflection. Go to point P on the grid. Use a piece of tracing paper to test that A or E, F, and G can be attained by rotating E, F, and G about point P. To do this, let's trace E, F, G, and point P on the tracing paper, line of tracing paper, and resource page on lines. Apply pressure on piece of the tracing paper to reach out at this point. Then from the tracing paper into the EFQ, last on top. EFQ, this is going to be the quantified rotation.
Okay, so give everyone a piece of paper. And while there's nothing wrong with the EQ, we kind of help you out. It's a little confusing. So what you want to do, I mean, I could write it here, but what you want to do, you want to trace these images and then rotate it 90 degrees and see if it lines up with what we got over here. So I'm going to come around and need a pencil to do this. We're gonna try for part. We're gonna do it for this one just to make sure we got. Then we're gonna do it for D. We're doing it for both. So like, let me try this. Yeah. So part do. So I trace that image and I trace that image. That's my pivot point. So if I rotate it like this. Actually, I can bet. I'll trace that one. If I rotate it. It's not perfect, but you can see like, so what I did was this, I drew a cross here where point P is.
And then if I rotate 90 degrees, so now I know I've rotated 90 degrees, right? And see how the orientation this is over here. So that's how the rotation looks. So one thing I forgot to tell you guys, what you want to do is at the pivot point, draw a cross. Kind of hard to tell, but draw a cross.
So you want to draw a cross. So put your paper like this, and you'll trace this, and then rotate that cross 90 degrees clockwise. As you do the rotation, what you'll notice is that it's going to be in the same orientation as the last image. So I'll come around and help you guys out, but we're going to do that for part D. So for part D, you're going to put your tracing paper over that image, that L shape. Draw a cross at point Q. Like that. And trace the image. Then move it 90 degrees counterclockwise about point Q. So it'll be like that. And then draw the new image. So I will
More like that, right?
Oh, I do it too much.
Yeah, you did 180.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good, but now try 90. Yeah, you did 180. Let me see some other. Okay, so so rotate, and I did, there we go, and that's in the image. So that's how the image is supposed to look. So then we could do is, you kind of, right, then have to kind of like go between we can. Good, yes. Good.
It's like point Q, I mean, Q, like, what is that?
That's just the intersection of these two reflecting lines.
Okay,
So,
and this is only supposed to match this one, not that.
yeah, exactly, if you rotate it correctly.
Okay.
But that's good. Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay, so yeah, what you want to do is this. I'll need you to sorry. So we'll draw a cross like this. And then I'm gonna rotate this 90 degrees. Oh, actually, I gotta trace the dark shape too. Oh, I see. Yeah, you did the other way around. So that's 90 degrees counterclockwise. So that's where the L should be. It's kind of like Tetris, put it that way. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you did the other direction. You did 90 degrees clockwise. So that's okay. You guys are just experimenting with this. So okay, cool. Good. Yeah, so the image should look
pretty much, you got Maggie's. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. It should look something kind of like this. Yeah, I kind of did a terrible job, but actually, let me try to be a little more precise here. So this side is how tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have to go up 4. So up 2. And then you go 4 that way. Then up. Then over. So it should be kind of like that. That's what you should expect. So that's a rotation. Okay. Any questions? All right, now we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's move on to the next page. Oh, are there 2 more? Shoot, there are 2 more problems we got to do. Okay, so let's take care of those also. So let's look at 61 and 62. Mr. Davis did tell me that there was just a little off. So use the tracing paper again. So for A, B, C, D, it's rotate 180 degrees about the point shown. Okay. And you want to put the points in the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tracing paper, draw a little cross where you see the dot, and you're going to trace this
square off to the left and rotate it 180 degrees. Doesn't matter which direction you're going, you're gonna end in the same place. And they should be able to know how to label the points.
So I'm gonna kind of come around and help you guys out with that.
Let's see here. Do this. Rotates. Yeah, you should know where the points fly. So basically they're all upside down. Yeah, I'll check. Hold on, what you want to do is something like this. So do the cross that. And that rotates 180. So these here, so these there. That's what I'm doing. Sure, yeah, of course, yeah. I think, yeah. You got it, yep, you got it, good.
We'll deal with this crazy paper.
I don't know, I don't know how this will be assessed, I don't, I'm not, but sure, if we have to. Don't go to the bottom. So it should be kind of upside down, let's try here. So I'm gonna have you turn it, I'll come back to it. So let's keep going. So far I've done almost 90, but yeah, keep going again, still more, that's 90. Keep going. Perfect. Now you land, okay, so now we know A has to be on the, so guys, A is gonna be on the lower right corner now. B is obviously the lower left corner. D is the upper right corner, and C is the upper left corner. So that's basically. Yeah, I'm still in alphabetical order, but it goes A, B, C. So it starts here A, B, right. Yeah, so let's see something. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, good work. Yeah. I don't know exactly. You must have a few minutes early, so but make sure you check out this video downstairs. So
So it should look like this. This should be A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Okay, and then lastly for one, so and that makes sense because everything rotated 180, right? So even if you did it the other way around, it wouldn't have mattered. You would have been on the same. Reagan, go ahead. Well, you should just because to show us a new image. So you should. Just good form to do that. For 162, if you have the original figure in this image after the sequence transformations, examine both of these with your team, describe at least 2 different ways. Okay, so talk about how for 162, how did we get from the original to the new? So have a discussion about that. How did we I like that. That's good. So you can say method 1. Yes, reflect. I'm gonna be kind of precise here. Reflect about x equals 3 because you're jumping about that line. And then then we shift 2 down. That would totally make sense. I would 100% agree with that. Another way, perhaps, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I mean, you could shift it down first and reflect it, but that's not really a different way. Would a rotation make sense? I don't know. You could, you could shift it, I could shift it to right. Because if I shift to right, then it looks like this. And then I could then shift 2 down. So if I shift 2 down, it would look kind of like this. And then reflect about what line? X equals 4, correct. Yep. One beauty about Zoom is I could do that really easily. And if not sure if it actually does have a pivot point, I think. Hold on. Yeah, kind of does. And then of course oh geez. Okay. Oh, yeah, that was kind of crazy. So anyhow, but yeah, that could work too. Okay, cool. So we're kind of be pretty much the same place as Mr. Davis's class, but let's just briefly talk about 1.2.3. Maybe we could do this last page. Or yeah, we could do the beginning of 1, 2, 3, just talk about a little bit. Then I'll tell you what the homework will be. Homework's gonna be pretty straightforward. I actually kind of already did a good chunk of it. I'll talk about it before class gets out. Just give my voice a little break. Kira, you want to read?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
At right triangle PQR is reflected across line 1 to form triangle P prime Q prime R prime. Describe the relationship of the original triangle and its image to the line of reflection. Specifically, what do you notice about the location of the image relative to the line of reflection in the original print?
Okay. So one thing you could do, and so you probably should go, I think. Might be, yeah, because it's about 10 minutes. So just make sure you check out. And homework is gonna be that packet from last week. The Geo refresh packet. It's gonna be some problems. It's in Schoology already, so you'll have the homework. All right, so and we have another quiz. Make sure you remember that. So what if I did this? Next Thursday. This coming Thursday, yeah. So what happens is that if you take all these different points that correspond to each other, P prime, Q prime, R prime, notice that each of these 3 red lines are parallel, right? So what we're noticing is that if we draw lines connecting P and P prime, Q and Q prime, and R and R prime, each of those lines are parallel to each other. That's one thing we know for sure. Also, these distances, we go highlighter, that might be better. Go blue. We'll switch colors again. We'll go green. No, it's the one that stands out better. Go pink. Yeah, notice that each of these are equivalent. So if I call that, like, say, I call this A, B, and C. So PA equals P prime A. QB equals Q prime B. RC equals R prime C. So that's another thing we notice with reflections. Let's talk about 169 A, B, C, D. I'm gonna have you guys work on that. I'll come around and help you guys out, and then that's where we'll stop for today.
Okay. So down forward.
Yeah, and then negative four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I brought this for a reason.
Perfect.
Why did I get from first base? Yeah. So you draw some nice straight lines. There you go.
For B, do we have to draw it?
you should.
Okay.
So the y-intercept is what on the original graph? What's the y-intercept in the original graph? So if you go up 5, what should be now? There you go. Not sure we really need tracing paper for that, but and then you're gonna do a rotation for the last one.
I think that'd be a good place for us to stop. I'll come around with quizzes and hold on to them.
Okay, so hopefully you guys are seeing this parallel line, same slope. If you rotate 90 degrees clockwise, you're gonna get a perpendicular line. So describe the relationship, they're perpendicular lines, which means they form a right angle. You're gonna see the slopes are inverse reciprocals, meaning the signs change and it flips. So the equation, so the line should look something kind of like this. Use green. So if you rotate, it should look kind of like y equals -5/3 x. And I think the y-intercept's -20/3. I have to explain why it's -20/3 in another day because we're about That's over about 2 minutes. But we're getting an idea of rotation. We're gonna do more of this on Thursday. Cool. Okay, and homework's really simple. It's going to be the packet I gave you guys last week. You guys already made some headway with it, but it's just going to be problems like I think 3. Hold on. Sure, or throw it away. I don't care. Yeah, it's gonna be 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13. Well, it's a packet from last week, so I think they do. Yeah. So work on that. That's your homework. We'll kind of wrap up that packet. And yeah, I think we're all set. You're welcome.